You're watching LEX 18 News, State of the Commonwealth.
In 1984, then Jefferson County Judge Executive Mitch McConnell unseated Democratic Senator Walter D. Huddleston. 36 years later, Senator McConnell is still in Washington. Huddleston was the first of 6 Democratic opponents that McConnell defeated. On Tuesday, he's hoping to change that number to 7. LEX 18's political reporter Carolina Buchek has more on Senator Mitch McConnell.
With just a few days until November 3rd, Senator Mitch McConnell is giving his supporters a final nudge. And with a new Supreme Court justice on the bench, McConnell's big talking point is about judges. He's made it clear that filling judicial positions is the way he's going to change the country. Because unlike laws that can be changed rather quickly, judicial appointments last a long time. So he has put many conservatives on the bench.
So here we are, at the end of this 4-year period, 3 Supreme Court justices, 53 U.S. Circuit Court judges, 1 below the Supreme Court. Not a single vacancy in any circuit court in America.
And he reminds people that this is possible because of his leadership role.
One of the great advantages of being the majority leader is I get to decide in what order we do things. And amazingly enough, every time we had a judge, they came up first.
And while this is something his critics use to attack him with, this is all part of his pitch to voters. He's selling them on the fact that he has influence in Washington.
So what would happen if my opponent were elected? Her first vote in the Senate would be to make Chuck Schumer from New York the majority leader of the Senate, transferring that power from Kentucky to New York. We're not going to let that happen, are we? No!
His opponent this time is Democrat Amy McGrath, and she has raised a lot of cash, making her competitive on the money front. But McConnell currently leads in the polls, and he says he feels good going into election night.
Well, I'm confident that I'm going to be successful.
He says that confidence comes from faith in the things he's presented to Kentucky. However, critics say that case lacks a second coronavirus aid bill. But McConnell blames the Democrats for that.
So hopefully when the election's over, we'll be able to achieve the kind of bipartisanship we did back in the spring.
So will voters give him a 7th term in office? The votes will tell. In Lexington, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
If you watch their one and only debate or any recent ads, you know that Amy McGrath is a Marine. She's a mom, and now she's trying to do something that 6 previous Democratic candidates have failed to do: defeat Mitch McConnell.
Nobody should be in office 42 years in that same seat. Nobody. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know that we have to work to make a better Kentucky and a better country for our families. And to be able to vote for Amy McGrath as opposed to the man who I think has been a very big part of destroying our democracy. I'm Amy McGrath.
Amy McGrath jumped into this race in the summer of 2019 with a national rollout. Millions of dollars followed, but that's not necessarily translated to favorable poll results, and she continues to trail in those. McGrath remains confident in her chances, though, and hopes that voters boot out the Senate Majority Leader, who she blames for leading the Senate into an ineffective, dysfunctional mess.
I think the biggest thing we can do, it really is get rid of him and then see if we can make some structural changes and get us back to where we have traditionally had a Senate that has been able to work.
She's highly critical of the Senate's decision to confirm a new Supreme Court justice before agreeing on more COVID-19 relief.
President Trump has said he wants to do coronavirus aid, effective coronavirus aid. The House already passed 2 bills that were effective coronavirus aid for Kentucky, for our state, for the country. And Senator McConnell is not interested in even negotiating.
If elected, McGrath says her priority is helping Kentuckians through affordable health care, expanding broadband access, investing in infrastructure and education. First order of business, though, battling the pandemic.
Kentucky deserves better. Our country deserves better. I have a plan to get us through this virus. I have a plan to get, national testing and tracing, to get our schools back open, to get our businesses back open, and to fix our healthcare system.
6 other Democrats have tried and failed to defeat Mitch McConnell in this race. McGrath is hoping she's lucky number 7. In addition to McConnell and McGrath, you do have one more option for U.S. Senate to vote on. The third candidate is Brad Barron from the Libertarian Party. Coming up, we'll hear what would a good election night look for each party. That's next on State of the Commonwealth.